10 games spanning 8 missions undertaken by one space heroine. A galaxy protected by a girl who should have died when she was 3. An ancient civilization that trained her to eradicate the existence of creatures it once created for protection. And an evil organization hell-bent on encompassing the creature's power. This is the universe of Metroid. Metroid Zero Mission was released for the Game Boy Advance on February 9, 2004. It was developed by Nintendo R&D 1, the originators of Metroid, and directed by Yoshio Sakamoto, who had a hand in every Metroid game except Return of Samus, Hunters, and Pinball. Retelling the events of the original NES title, Zero Mission was more robust, featuring a larger map, peeks into the Hunter's past, and new scenarios beyond the showdown with Mother Brain. Many of the locales looked similar to their 8-bit counterparts, and items were roughly in the same locations. But the differences between the two outweighed the similarities. A number of items from later games were carried over to the remake, such as the Plasma Beam, Space Jump, Super Missiles, and Power Bombs. Samus could also combine the Ice and Wave beams just like in Super Metroid. And the map was littered with even more energy tanks and missile expansions, many of them hidden in areas that can only be reached using advanced skills like chaining Shine Sparks. The biggest addition to Zero Mission was what happened after you defeated Mother Brain and escaped Turian. Samus, thinking she got away safely, removed her power suit just before a space pirate ambush. Her ship was immobilized, but she survived. Bearing only her Zero suit and an emergency pistol, she infiltrated a nearby space pirate mothership. This marked the second time players could play as Samus without her power suit. Nearly defenseless, Zero Suit Samus couldn't run and gun her way to safety. She had to use stealth. By avoiding enemy sights, stunning space pirates, and sneaking into the Chozo ruins, Samus gained a new power suit with expanded functions. Blasting her way back to the mothership at full power, Aaron faced off against the robotic Mecha Ridley and finally escaped in an enemy gunship. Completing the game unlocked a variety of features including hard mode, map-by-map item checklists, and the complete NES version of Metroid. Different artwork was displayed depending on the percentage of items collected, difficulty setting, and time it took to finish the mission. Also, players with 2 GBAs and a copy of Metroid Fusion could connect the two games to unlock the Fusion Gallery, which consisted of additional artwork from the Japanese version of the earlier game. Metroid Zero Mission received high marks by critics and gamers alike, who praised it for superb sound, visuals, and playability. And unlike the dictated events in Fusion, players had the freedom to ignore the hints and explore where they pleased. One common criticism was that the game was too short, which was perhaps an indication that gamers' tastes had shifted from earning faster times to embarking on larger quests. While Zero Mission retold the first chapter of the franchise, it certainly was not the beginning of Samus Aran. What little information that's known of the Space Hunter's upbringing can be gathered from various sources, including Metroid Prime's instruction booklet and the Metroid manga, a comic now available online. When she was a child, Samus and her family lived at planetary colony K2L. Her father specialized in the mining of afluorite, an energy source pivotal to the Galactic Federation. In the year 2000 of the Cosmic Calendar, the Federation was created by representatives from many races in the galaxy in an effort to create a safer and more secure space for all. Important negotiations amongst the planets were done through a single Federation starship, which was fueled by energy-rich afluorite. Space pirates, led by Ridley, raided ships and planets in their attempt to maintain power and become the most dominant species in the galaxy. While following the Chozo across the stars, Ridley discovered the location of the mines on K2L and ordered his brigade to steal the valuable fuel. Samus was 3 when the invasion took place. The attack resulted in the deaths of all of the colonists, including Samus's mother and father. Miraculously, the little girl lived and was found by the Chozo, a wise and ancient bird-like race. The Chozo raised Samus on Zebes, infusing her with their DNA so she could survive the harsh environment. As she grew, the Elders developed her power suit and trained her as a warrior, eventually sending the Hunter out to protect the galaxy. Samus was commissioned by the Galactic Federation to return to Zebes, now overrun by space pirates. The pirates had begun to reproduce the dangerous life-sucking creatures called Metroids. The remains of Chozo statues, scattered throughout the planet's tunnels, held weapons and enhancements for Aaron's power suit. Samus defeated Ridley, Kraid, and a biological computer known as Mother Brain, successfully eliminating all Metroids in the process. At the end of Zero Mission, Samus revisits the Chozo ruins, where she recalls her past and completes a challenge to earn a new suit from the spirits of the ancient race. It's unknown whether Mother Brain or Ridley is the true leader of the space pirates. References in the instruction manuals for Metroid and Fusion, the Nintendo Power comic, and the Super Metroid introduction indicate Mother Brain is the general of the space pirates. However, according to Zero Mission, Super Metroid's manual, and the official manga, Ridley is the general. The manga also reveals that Mother Brain was once a counselor to the Chozo, which leaves fans to question whether she tactically betrayed her former masters or was turned against them by invading space pirates. Aaron received a distress signal to travel to Talon 4 and stop space pirates from utilizing Phazon, a substance that corrupted the planet after a meteor struck it. Samus discovered that the Chozo once inhabited Talon 4, but have since passed away, leaving only their ghosts to guard their sacred relics. Foretelling the arrival of Samus, the Chozo left numerous weapons for her to defeat the source of the Phazon, Metroid Prime, which they sealed with 12 artifacts. Samus fulfills the Chozo prophecy by defeating Metroid Prime, but not before it manages to extract the Phazon from her suit and morph into Dark Samus. After the Galactic Federation received a strange telepathic message referring to an ultimate power located in the Limbic Cluster, Samus was ordered to investigate. The 6 bounty hunters that followed her had separate reasons for acquiring this seductive power, and 2 of them had vendettas against Aaron. In particular, Weevil was once a space pirate general who was wounded and turned into a cyborg after an epic battle with Samus. Samus confronted and defeated Guria, the beast that originated the telepathic message, as an attempt to free itself. The ultimate power turned out to be the Omega Cannon, the same weapon Samus used to destroy Guria. Samus left the Limbic Cluster empty-handed, but alive. After the Galactic Federation lost contact with a squad of Marines on planet Ether, they commissioned Samus to investigate. The bounty hunter learned that the Marines were killed by an evil species known as the Ing, which inhabited the planet following a meteor strike that split it into 2 dimensions of light and dark. The Ing were a shadowy species capable of inhabiting the bodies of the living or the dead, or even taking control of machinery. Possessing things allowed the Ing to survive and raid the light world. As far as we know, the Ing have no relationship with the space pirates or Ridley. The Luminoth, a nomadic race living among the stars for centuries, abandoned space to live upon the beautiful ether. Similar to Chozos, Luminoth have a spiritual connection with their planet and are technologically advanced. Umos, the last surviving sentinel on Ether, asked Samus to retrieve the planet's energy from Dark Ether and gave her the light suit to complete the quest. While exploring Ether, Samus encountered and defeated Dark Samus multiple times, but the gloomy doppelganger was able to regenerate itself even after Dark Ether had been destroyed. The Galactic Federation then requested Aaron to investigate a series of malfunctioning computers known as the Aurora units. In Metroid Prime 3 Corruption, space pirates infected the Federation's Aurora units with a virus, and Samus became corrupted by Phazon. It was her duty to somehow repair the units and discover the ramifications of her corruption. But there was still one thing lingering in the back of Samus's mind. And once the saga of Prime reached its finale, the bounty hunter traveled to the Metroid homeworld, planet SR-388, to exterminate the species for good. There, she learned that the Metroids molted in cycles, growing into larger creatures. After eradicating all the Metroids, Aaron encountered one final egg. The baby Metroid popped out, mistaking Samus for its mother. Sparing its life, she then handed the larva to Galactic Federation scientists for research. Before Metroids existed on SR-388, the Chozo lived there, as did X-parasites. To fend off these infectious vermin, the Chozo artificially created Metroids and dubbed them Ultimate Warriors. In hindsight, the Chozo trained a bounty hunter to exterminate a species they once unleashed. Soon after she left the Metroid hatchling with the researchers at Ceres space colony, Samus received a distress signal. The laboratory she had just left had been attacked. A reborn Ridley captured the last remaining Metroid and escaped to Zebes to continue a plan to reproduce Metroids and use them in space pirate attacks. Samus had to defeat Kraid, Ridley, Phantoon, and Dragon to enter a newly constructed command center littered with the remains of the Metroid victims. However, the hatchling remembered its foster mother and assisted Samus in one last battle versus Mother Brain. In the events leading to Metroid Fusion, Samus returned to planet SR-388 to escort researchers studying the fauna of the now Metroid-free planet. Aeryn was suddenly attacked and infected by the X-Parasite, but was miraculously cured by a Metroid vaccine created from the same hatchling that saved her life in the previous mission. The X-Parasite spread throughout the biologic space laboratories, mimicking the life forms it infected, including surgically removed sections of Aeryn's power suit. Samus, with the help of her computer Adam, altered the trajectory of the station so that it would crash into SR-388, killing the X-Parasites both on the station and the planet below. Metroid Fusion introduced players to Adam Malkovich, who was Aeryn's commanding officer on a previous mission. Reminded of Adam by the computer instructing her, she frequently recounts his personality and leadership. Little is known about this operation, but Samus has a profound respect for Adam as he sacrificed himself to save her life. In the aftermath of Fusion, Samus learned that the Federation routinely uploaded the minds of great leaders to computer systems, and her ship's computer actually contained Malkovich's memories. As the laboratory spaceship struck the surface of SR-388, the story of Samus stopped. Aside from the DNA left in her blood, there were no traces of Metroids left in the galaxy. As popular as the series has been, it should come as no surprise that Samus would make appearances in other franchises as well. Her unmistakable image has invaded games, comics, cartoons, and other media. Most notably, Samus was a playable character in Super Smash Bros. On the Nintendo 64, Melee on the GameCube, and Brawl on the Wii, sporting both her power and Slim Zero suit. She napped in Super Mario RPG, played an upright bass in Tetris, transformed into a rock defense in Kirby Superstar, returned as a microgame in 3 WarioWare titles, influenced a Metroid-themed puzzle in Tetris DS, and more. Samus was also a semi-regular character in the comic Captain N the Game Master, while Mother Brain acted as the main villain in the spin-off cartoon of the same name. Interestingly, neither character ever appeared in the opposite medium. A short biography of the legendary heroine can be found in 2 short e-comics published by Kodansha. In 2003, 2 producers optioned the rights to produce a Metroid movie, but they expired. John Woo stepped in a couple of years later to reacquire them. Lion Rock Productions was scheduled to produce, and the plan was to release the first film before 2006. That never happened, and it's currently unknown if the project has been canceled. The solar system of Samus Aran is as expansive as it is popular, with a plethora of battle scars and buried secrets. The alien galaxy meticulously crafted by Nintendo Imagineers has hosted 10 games, selling over 13 million units worldwide, and the numbers are steadily growing. Rest assured, whenever a mission is hatched that's too deadly for Marines to undertake, too dangerous for the Galactic Federation to ignore, and too tempting for space pirates to avoid, a fearless hunter awaits, primed to defend the universe.